Hello everyone, this is Yashiroreaper, and welcome back to Higurashi no Nakakoroni, aka Higurashi when they cry, onikakushi. Let's start and load this game. Hopefully we're getting close to making decisions. I gasped at the sudden realization that was the final bell. As I felt the tension drain from me, I let out a deep breath. My mind was muddled on stage for much of the entire day. I didn't feel like I was awake, but I didn't feel like I was asleep either. I couldn't say it felt especially comfortable, but I felt kind of relieved that the sanctity of school, part of my daily life, had yet to be violated. How long would I have to keep on living like this? I could only grit my teeth and bear it as this living hell slowly gnawed away at me. Cage-kun, come on! It's club time, club time! The sound of Reina's voice brought me back to my senses. Come on, Cage-kun, stop spacing out! Bring your desk, your desk! Everyone was moving their desks together as usual. That's right, it was happy, fun club time. But I had no intention of taking part. I haphazardly stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag as I prepared to go home. It was a weak-handed gesture to avoid actually saying, I'll be going home now. What's this, Gage-on? You planning on getting home right away? Miel sounded disappointed. Just not in the mood. Could you just let me be for a while? The tone of the words spilled out of my mouth, matching Miel's disapproving glare. Felt the air in the room had dried out. Soko looked like she was about to say something, but perhaps dissuaded by the mood, she swallowed her words and stayed silent. Nobody said a thing. I just bet them me and I could leave if I wanted, but the collective gaze of all four of them, like teeny pins used to mount an insect on display, held me in place. Reina was the one who cut through my head. Hey, Chikon, you just been, playing with girls, I guess, said in such a melancholic tone that sent me a wave of pain racing through my heart. It was a pain going to kill me. I wanted to be soft part of me that could still feel pain. I took the roar at my chest violently, tearing that held me in this place. No, it's not that at all. I don't even hurt myself saying anymore, so I swallowed my words. Cutting things off there, I turned away and exited the classroom. They didn't speak a word to me as I left. We see Oishi were kicking his ass. With the dull trip back home, I didn't really focus. I firmly squeezed the grip of my bat, which I had already soggy with sweat. Realizing that I wiped it down with my sleeve, nothing were to happen, I wouldn't want it to be slippery. Since this morning, I've become especially to the presence of cars. Even while walking, my ears perked up inside out any threatening sounds and presences that could be closing in. And that was why I could hear it. Without a doubt, there were footsteps. Footsteps matched up perfectly with mine for a while now. From what I could sense, it was just one person, but I had no intention of being careless. Did they intend to follow me like that card this morning until it was a good occasion to assault me? That wasn't a good idea to keep walking like this. I stopped and looked back. The wooded path lay in trees surrounded with silence, as if nobody were there to begin with. But I wouldn't be fooled. I was certain footsteps were following me. I just thought, and just as I thought, the footsteps stopped as well, and this person following me wanted to keep their distance. That was without question proof I was their target. I held my breath, waiting for that presence to start moving again. Trees rustled with the sound of the wind. Higurashi also joined in this discordant chorus, trying to throw my focus into disarray. I had 5 minutes fast, or had it been like a whole 30 minutes? It was so hard to breathe that I thought I might have suffocated. It seemed I would be the first one to panic. Without a doubt, he was lurking in the shade of some tree with bated breath. Then I'd make the first move. I fixed my grip on my bat. I raised it up to my shoulder, ready to swing at any time. Hey, I know you're there. Thought I might have screamed at whoever was hiding in the shade of the trees, but the presence in the shade didn't budge. So the moment I saw them, they had no intention of revealing themselves. I know already. I know you're there. I screamed angrily at them again, but even still, they didn't move at all. Then I'll go over there myself. While the two villagers, I approached step by step. Stepping into the tree's shadow, I saw a human figure there. The figure was curled up like a small animal. Reina? I realized she found her expression softened, seemed apologetic. Wasn't going to speak a word. Did she have some business with me? I accepted that silence and screamed the question at her. Not really, it's just, It was a bad attack. Her tears welling up in her eyes, but it looked obvious that she had been following me. What about the club? Since you're not, I'm not. That shouldn't matter. Don't mind me. Just go play. But I'm worried about you. I think it's just how I've been acting up until now. It wasn't hard to imagine having my behavior could be perceived as strange. Serena was concerned at a quick glance. That's how it seemed. But I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Even if it was really the case, she still wouldn't have to do something like try to tail me. She would have called out to me when I was leaving, gone right out with me. Verena didn't do that. She kept her distance and matched my walking speed. On top of that, she matched the sound of her footsteps and deviously tried to hide her presence from me. Then after she realized I noticed she was there, she held her breath as she tried hiding from me. She wore a timid expression that would force me to take pity on her. Without a doubt, she was stalking me. Stop following me. Oh, still glaring at Rena, I continued to walk onward. I walked for a bit. She ignored my command. Began walking again, so I yelled at her once more. I told you to not follow me. Hey, but my house is in the same direction. Walk ahead of me. I'll start walking once I can't see you anymore. I moved out of the way and waved my bat violently to urge her forward. I'd like to go home together with you. Pitifully, meekly squeezed out words in a voice she knew would cut into my heart. That agitated me to no end. I knew that it was a lie. If you wanted to go home together, then you should have called out to me. Now you're just blurting out random lies. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My seething anger within me was written all over my face. Without me saying anything, Rena understood what I was feeling inside. If you get it, then go. I said in the bat, urging her to walk again. Rena looked back and forth between me and the bat, then started walking hesitantly, then stopped again. Go on, then. Hurry. I'm going, so please stop with that bat. It's scary. Rena guarded herself by pointing at me holding the bat. Mary realized I wasn't planning on using this baseball bat. I laid the bat so guarded it opened the way for her. Go. There's no problem, is there? There's nothing else she could protest. She passed me timidly as not to set me off. As I watched her pass, she stopped, coming after, barely moving at all. Hey, don't stop. Powerful gust blew past me, brushing me with dust. Dust got into my eyes and flooded my vision. Rubbing my eyes with my left hand, I swung blindly the bat in my right, protecting the small opening I had presented. Rena didn't even try to attack during that opening. Attack me? No, she hadn't budged an inch. I could tell from the sound of her fluttering skirt in the wind. As her skirt settled, so did the silence. Knowing the voice inside of me immediately warned me of impending danger. I was caught by surprise. The smell of the air had changed. Without me realizing, the air had suddenly felt like a calamity was about to befall me. There. Like the air had suddenly come enveloped in concrete, like Rena and I were locked in that space. Rena didn't move an inch. Also unable to move, I stared back at her. Rena was the first to break the silence. Instantly, she altered her stance. I felt like I'd just witnessed her shift from Rena into that other person who looks like Rena. The voice, one I knew well, which filled me with a kind of bewildering pity. Carelessly, I felt relief upon hearing that pitiful voice. Well, excuse me, but, could you do something? She shot even turned around and ran and squeezed her voice out desperately as she trembled. What? Well, why do you have a bat, I wonder? The question Rena asked me was by no means unexpected. I can carry whatever I want. But you didn't have one up until today. Why so suddenly? It's alright if I decided to do something suddenly, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it that strange that I have a bat? Because Kichi, you're not the kind of person to play baseball. It's weird. I could tell what kind of answer she was looking for, and I was getting tired of answering her. I suddenly got the urge to play baseball. That's so weird? It's weird, she answered instantly. That annoyed me slightly. Suddenly wanted to play baseball. And I wanted to practice my swing, so I'm carrying around a bat. Strange about that. Strange, weird, definitely. Has Kichi-kun also. Your ramblings are annoying me. Isn't it that strange for me to be an interest in sports? I tried to sound a bit more threatening to the end of the conversation, so my suspicion about Reina was cleared. I had no obligation to answer her questions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't get so angry. Reina didn't turn around and spat out the words of apology one after the next. Just one last thing. Tell me one last thing. I don't feel like talking anymore. Hurry up and go. I yelled at her loudly, causing her to flinch like she had been struck. Seeing her in such a pathetic state caused my heart to ache sorely. Even though I was afraid, she was stubborn, kept herself from moving. But I was able to threaten her again. Reina asked her final question. Why is it that bat the same too? She meant the bat was the same? I had no idea what she was talking about. What are you saying? I mean, why is even the bat the same? I don't understand what you mean at all. Say it clearly. Even so, Reina didn't turn around. After inhaling deeply, she screamed, I mean, why is the bat the same as Satoshi-kun's? Satoshi being, Upon hearing that name of the boy, became dumbfounded for a brief moment. By Satoshi, she didn't mean that student who transferred out last year. No, that couldn't be. Reina had tried covering it up by saying he transferred, but Oshi-san told me quite clearly he was missing. He was a student who sat in my seat up until last year. He was believed to have been demoned away by Oshiro-sama's curse. I didn't know the details about his disappearance. The aunt lived with was killed that night while an occupied drug addict. Not long after that, he suddenly vanished and was now missing. Satoshi and I were what? He fell at the bat in my hands. Could it be? Satoshi Hojo. It was a bit difficult to see, but there were written in red tape at the end of the bat. I see, this was Satoshi's bat. Oh, this was Satoshi's bat. Since then I was using it, I borrowed it. That's not a problem, is it? That's not it, Reina said, and made it seem like there was something that should never be touched, like some sort of offering at a shrine or a memento of the deceased. I could only stand there, perplexed and unaffected response. Reina continued speaking without waiting for a reply. Why is it that you're doing the same things Satoshi did when it happened to him? Reina was talking about more than just one bat belonging to Satoshi. It was the same as Satoshi-kun? He joined the baseball team, but he didn't really like baseball. What does that have to do with me? Satoshi-kun also suddenly started walking around with a bat one day. He joined the team, but he wasn't the type to play sports. What about it? I closed my mouth before I said it out loud. Listen carefully, Keiichi. Reina's telling us something important. Satoshi-kun one day came to school by himself all of a sudden, just like you, Keiichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly started practicing his swing, just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly began carrying the bat around with him, just like Keiichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly... On that day he was suddenly what? Anna swallowed her words. Reina suddenly silent, but I hushed back to the surrounding area. As best I could finally digest the context of the entire conversation. Saying my chain of actions was the exact same as Satoshi's. What was the meaning of this? Up until now, I'd forgotten about Satoshi. Never paid much attention to him in the first place. Not only that, I didn't even know anything of what he'd done. My actions today should have been my own creation, after all the planning I had done, but they had been the exact same as Satoshi's. And Satoshi, no importantly, if both Satoshi and I acted the same, then there is a really good possibility that what happened after we would be the same. Reina that day, what happened to Satoshi? Reina knew. She knew what became of Satoshi. Forget about what happened to the guy in the past. Reina knew what was going to happen to me. Answer me, Reina. Satoshi, what happened to him? With that, I grabbed Reina's shoulder violently and forcibly turned her around to face me. As I faced her, I felt the jolt traveling through my entire body. I told you, Kiichi-kun. Problem, it was the person that I didn't know. At least it was definitely not Reina Ryugu I had been talking to up till now. The voice just now didn't have a trace of trembling or emotion that it had before. Not of regret I felt for turning her around so carelessly and unsurpassed. The gaze of a piercing cold needle. The smile on her face evoked an image of having it carved out by a knife. Chills went down my spine. My mind froze under a layer of rime. Both Reina's eyes pierced through mine, and I was unable to look away. As it too reminded me of the fear from that time before. Reina brought her face so close to mine, so close that I could feel her breath. Her face filled my entire vision. Then she sharply shaped her lips, even sharper, like a curve of crescent moon. She grinned. I told you, Kiichi-kun. Short pause, repeated the same words again. Let's go and see it transferred out. Transferred out, meaning what? What Reina meant by someone new transfer, that I was possibly aware of. My throat and lips dried up. I couldn't even acknowledge what I just heard. All I could do was swallow down my own saliva. It would seem that Reina saw that as a nod. She pulled her gaze spryly and stepped 2 or 3 paces. As she did, my legs gave out and I fell to my back pathetically. Reina and me on my knees underneath her emotional smile. That had the odd sight indeed. Seeing my pathetic state, she neither scoffed nor held out her hand, but I could neither stand nor escape her gaze shooting through my eyes. There was undoubtedly a metal bat in my hand, but right now it was useless to me. I was just a fly caught in her web. Heavily sweat beaded all over my body. I could feel it dripping on my skin. But you won't, will you, Kiichi-kun? Reina finally released me from my cage of time after what felt like an eternity. But her question was missing something important. It was incredibly vague. Once it swallowed her, urging her on. Do what? What did she not want me to do? Transfer. Well, that wasn't fucking creepy at all. Reina-chan, what the fuck? Pitch Hitler. Ashley and I had what? All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi had really been in the same situation as I was now. The friends he had gotten along with had suddenly, for no reason, they suddenly known his plan to kill him. Then, fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself, carried around every day practicing his swing. Then one day, suddenly, he transferred. Every one curled with a pickling sensation coursed through my veins. Starting near my heart, it radiated outwards to the top of my head and the soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Well, Satoshi still at wherever he was transferred to? He was the only one who would be able to understand me. He would be the only one who'd tell me why it had ended up like this. More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Before I knew it, I was at my front door. The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was nobody home? It was an odd occurrence. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the single key attached to a fur seal keychain. I stepped into the entryway. Just as I was about to take out my shoes, a chill ran down my spine. Someone had entered right behind me, like a gas plate messing around standing against my back. You're kidding me, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it's possible for someone to be able to hide their presence without my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind. Hey now, Keiichi. How do you know they're there, even though they're behind you? 'Cause I could hear the sound of flowing. If for no reason I heard that sound, that was the presence. 'Cause I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi Maribara, there's no way you can hear that. It's mostly instinct that anything else reminded me of the present. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. Just my imagination. There was nobody behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself, if there was nobody, then why was I feeling as uncomfortable sensation crawled up my spine? Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody when you turn around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all the questions just by looking behind me, but I didn't have enough courage to even do that simple task. Alright, I could try speaking to them. First behind me might answer. It was a random thought. I didn't care how it went about, just as long as I didn't have to turn around. If I calmed down and thought about it, I would have known that I would have solved anything. Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken tone that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel their contemplating response. I felt that there was no way I should be able to. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. That time, I was certain I heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, certainly I could hear the sound of someone inhaling. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl, a young girl. I didn't know who, but a teeny speech of courage, however, was inspiring, promoting this to the situation. Taking all the force of my body was released in my throat, seizing all the processes in my head, casting all my thoughts and emotion. I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body to look back as I did so. It was definitely there, right there. Somebody was there, until the moment I turned around, till I brought the area behind me within field of vision. They were definitely there, falling face up, and my eyes traced the remainder of the presence suspended in my empty space. Couldn't be. They were invisible. They looked like they weren't there. Were they actually still standing there? As I screamed, all the emotions and holding burst away in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotion was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to extract myself from the bizarre situation that was happening in front of me. My state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body fury. A low bat held firm in my right hand, as if there was a magnet. Mid-level sweep would be the hardest task to dodge. I remember reading something like that from a book about swordsmanship or something. I brandished my will to fight. After a managing a manipulation and metal flash, as it swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. Bat slammed right into the wall and the tip rebounded violently. Very calmly, I transferred the force from the rebound into a sweep to the left. The door in the shoe cupboard was split to pieces. The two swings whiffled the empty space, but they seemed to have a great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from the space. The attack wasn't the only thing I required. I extracted the bat from the cupboard. It was embedded. I screamed and spun my entire body around in a large arc. I screamed, shook the air, imbuing a pharaoh swing even more destructive power. Crack. With no mercy or restraint, my violent stride was certainly fate. No force behind it shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck my enemy, but the ferocity had certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in the invisible enemy. There, but not there, dispersed. Now, certain the enemy had retreated. I locked the front door and lashed the chain. No way I'd feign retreat. Him was now inside my house. Once again, I channeled my aggression and searched the house for the present, but it was gone. I had succeeded in fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body, and I let out a deep sigh of relief. All the emotions I began holding back charged merged together in a flood, a hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief all mixed together and began to flow through my body. Unable to deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with a strange exhaustion. Within this moment, I remained composed. Checking all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went into my room to the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little. After clearing my mind of all the idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was that at the front door? There was definitely something there. That's where we're gonna leave it, I think. We're gonna save it there, and I'll see you guys in another episode. I love y'all very, very much, and I've got to say, bye! Hey guys, this was Yashiroreaper, and thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified and join the notification squad. Also, check out my Teespring and Redbubble shops, links below, with my Tumblr, Tapastic, and Amino app name. Thank you for watching. Hit the Patreon icon to help me continue making cool content for you all. Love you guys, and see you in the next video. Bye!